Raider Nation, what is the deal, man? Once again, it's your guy Panama Fargo, and I'm back to y'all live with another episode of the Raider Rundown. And today, man, we're gonna be discussing the Raiders versus the Dolphins, the loss, right? Recapping that from yesterday, talking about some pressing topics as far as the team goes and what the team needs to do going forward for the future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this intro started and let's get the show cracking.
Young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
What is the deal, Raider Nation? Once again, you're back for another episode of the Raider Rundown. Make sure you guys are tapping on that like and on the subscribe button. And please hit on the little notification bell so you get updated whenever I drop episodes like this one right here. But like I was saying, man, we're going to recap the Raiders' loss of the 20-13 loss to the Miami Dolphins yesterday, right? We got to recap it. We got to talk about some pressing topics that I've seen, especially out there from fans and everybody. There's a lot of topics that we got to get into. So without further ado, let's recap the game. Now, the Raiders did end up taking the L 20-13. Tell you the stats, Aiden O'Connell was 24 for 41 with 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Josh Jacobs, only 14 carries, 39 yards, only 2 yards a carry. Devontae Adams had 7 catches for 82 yards. Jacoby Myers, 4 catches for 49. Michael Mayer, 4 for 46. Hunter Renfrow, 5 for 42. Trey Tucker, 2 for 36. Now, when you look at that, the stats are okay. Obviously, the glaring number is the 3 interceptions by Aiden O'Connell. But I want you guys to focus on another glaring number, and that is the 14 carries by Josh Jacobs. Now, if you're sitting there watching the game, you would see that early on, right, the run wasn't really working in our favor. And it really was not. There were times that we would try to run the ball, even in short yardage situations, and it'd just be a struggle to get it. But I do argue that, I do think the Raiders probably should have ran the ball more. And there are some spots where I think that the Raiders were too predictable as well in their play calling. Now, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, the defense played amazing. There's nothing really the defense outside of a couple names you can be mad at, right? I mean, you held the highest scoring team in the NFL to 20 points, especially when they're at home. When they're at home, they're very difficult to beat, and they put up a lot of points. You held them to 20 points, right? Now, obviously, Tyreek Hill got his yardage, but that's Tyreek Hill. That's a different animal. That's a different beast. So it's to be expected. And when you look at their yardage, you say, well, goddamn, like they're moving it up and down the field. I mean, really, them yards, if you didn't watch the game, the yards from them were really empty calorie yards. Them was empty calorie yards because as soon as they got down to the red zone, and the stat is shown, they've been a great red zone team, but our defense was very tight, very strict, right? We did not allow the back-breaking touchdown play, okay? When they got down there, they went ahead and they only had to kick field goals. Now, they did have 2 touchdowns. They did have that 1 touchdown when it was a screen play. Okay, cool. But for the majority of the part, Raiders are getting them off the field or they're forcing field goal opportunities. So the defense did everything they could in this game to try to pull out a dub. They gave them every opportunity. When you talk about the turnovers we had about, 3-4 turnovers? All right, you're talking about interceptions, fumbles. It was a beautiful thing to see from the defensive standpoint. They came to play. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, it's definitely struggles that pop their ugly head up again. All right, and this time the struggles, once again, were in the pass game. Same kind of scenarios we were talking about earlier on in the season where the quarterback cannot turn the ball over and give the game away. That's exactly what happened. Now, we're going to touch into this subject. Let's touch into Aiden O'Connell first because we're going to go into the whole totality of it. Now, with Aiden O'Connell, okay, does he deserve to be the franchise guy going forward, extended past this next year? That's the question I posed to y'all, right? My answer to that, no. As of right now, he has not shown that. Am I ready to bench him right now? No. That thought hasn't even crossed my mind, and I'm already ready for this man to play the rest of the season. I've already said it. Me personally, I've already said I want Aiden O'Connell to play the rest of the season. Why? Because one, I already understand what having a rookie under center entails. All right. And he was just, to me, he was a better chance than what we were getting from the veterans. But the reason I'm not sitting here ready to be mad and all that like I was with Jimmy Garoppolo is because he's a rookie, and I understand what that entails. There's going to be shit like this. I mean, these are the growing pains you expect to see, and especially like I detailed last week, you talk about Aiden O'Connell, he's not as far in his development as some of the other rookie quarterbacks that have been playing are, right? And you look at CJ Stroud. I mean, you was looking at Anthony Richardson. I mean, Bryce Young to a degree, but he's in a bad situation. These guys have been playing the majority of the season. They've been playing the whole season, right? And minus Anthony Richardson, but they played the whole time. So at this point, they have all this NFL experience. Right now, we're looking at Aiden O'Connell. He's a little shorter in. He's like in the same boat with Will Levis. And we saw how Will Levis looks right now. They're struggling. Why? Because they're still climbing that mountain of a curve. So with Aiden O'Connell, it's only been, 4 weeks he's had of NFL experience? I understand this. And especially with the defense that you're going against, Vic Fangio came out in the second half, made some adjustments, and made a rookie look like a rookie, especially with 2 all-pro corners. He tried the waters deep, especially with Jalen Ramsey. He tried to hit the home run shot, and these are things that he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to learn, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. But anybody sitting there saying, oh, he sucks, go Jimmy Garoppolo, stop. That's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. These are things you have to go with. It's just what it is. With a rookie quarterback, this is what it entails. Now, am I going to sit here and say that, he has a pass for yesterday? No, he don't have no pass for yesterday. He still deserves some responsibility for the loss. A big part of it is on him. Cool. Got to understand that, though. But in no way, shape, or form am I saying you got to bench him. And in the same breath, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that he has shown anything up to this point in this season for me to say that he can be the franchise guy next year. That's just me looking at it analytically, right? So 2 things can still be true. I do not believe he's shown enough for us to be confident and say that's our guy moving forward. But I do not believe that we should be killing him and doing all that based off of the circumstances we're in. So, 2 things are true right now. He's still got a lot of season left to prove himself. And by all means, I've said it multiple times on this channel. If he proves himself, fine, bro. I'll be fine. You know what I mean? I'll go ahead and I'll be cool with him being the guy. But as of right now, he ain't doing enough. He had his rookie mistakes. Now, I will say this, though. I'm happy that it did happen. I'm happy that he got it out the way because, every rookie quarterback going to go through some growing pains. I'm happy he got that shit out the way last week. Now, my thing is, I want to see how he bounces back from this because that will tell me a lot, too. That should tell us, like I said, we got to look analytical. We got to be analytical out here. Really analyze. So he had a terrible game. Will this be a string of terrible games? Or is this going to be something from Aiden where he bounces back next week? And isn't it beautiful that it's against KC, ain't it? Will he bounce back next week? How will he look after coming off this terrible outing? That's going to be something that we need to look for as well. All right. So I'm going to be watching that. He still got a lot of football to prove in no way, shape, or form saying I'm done, I'm out. But, he's going to have to deserve some responsibility. Next thing, I seen a lot of people talking about the O-line. Are we going to put this loss on the O-line? Me personally, you reserve the right to your judgment. But me, I'm not going to sit here and say that the offensive line was the reason that this man had 3 interceptions yesterday. Come on. Stop. If you watch that game from start to finish, you know good and goddamn well that the offensive line is not the reason that Aiden O'Connell threw 3 interceptions. Now, we can sit here and say this was the reason that the running game didn't get started. And if you want to say that, that's completely fine. That's completely fair. And I understand it. And it really was. Yesterday, there was no hold. There was no push like we were seeing against the Jets even. There was just no push from that offensive line when it came to the run game. No push at all. So if you want to say that, cool. And that's probably what led to the Raiders not running it as much as they wanted to because there was no push. So cool. But we're not going to sit here and act like the offensive line is the reason that this man threw 3 interceptions. No, that's not. No, they played okay. They played pretty much how they've been playing the entirety of the season. But bad quarterback play is going to make everything else look bad. Just what it is. Now we go from him to Bo Hardegree, and I was going to come out here, and I'm not going to lie, I was going to come out here and really get on Bo Hardegree. But listening to some of the guys I listen to, like Hondo Carpenter, things like that, who have more inside knowledge, you now learn and you talk about the intricacies of things, and you get to understand it, right? When you say, okay, Raiders go in there with the game plan, and this is for my understanding how I got it. Raiders go in there with the game plan with a rookie quarterback, but understand that the game plan that they're going in there with is 4 to 3 weeks old, because they're not entirely using Josh McDaniels shit. Remember, Aiden O'Connell didn't really thrive in the Josh McDaniels system to begin with. So Bo Hardegree is tailoring the offense to things that Aiden does well and not force feeding him too much. Understand that as well. He's not giving him too much because he understands he's a rookie. So there's a limitation, so to speak, on what's going to be there. Now, yesterday, Raiders came in with the game plan, felt good about it. All right. First half, we saw kind of a culmination of it. But in the second half, when Vic Fangio and that defense started to make adjustments, there's not much you can really expand to within the game, because it's like, okay, we can't really go back to the Josh McDaniels stuff because he don't really have that fully. And we're trying to move away from that, right? And even with this condensed, limited game plan we have, which is cool, but when defenses begin to squeeze, it's like it's not too much there's not too many answers we can go to, if that makes sense, with a 4-week-old scheme, okay, that you're trying to tailor around your rookie quarterback. It's just not much. There's not many answers you can go to if a defense does what they did yesterday as far as disguising coverage and doing certain things. So, yeah, I think Bo Hardegree does deserve a little bit of blame for going conservative at times, but it's like I understand. I still understand. It's like, you're thrust in this position. It's 4 weeks old. You still got some kinks to work out. So, okay, I get it. Now we talk about Antonio Pierce. Does he deserve to have the interim taken off of his head coaching title? I think as of right now, he's shown enough. To me, I think he has shown enough for me to be comfortable with Mark Davis saying, okay, this is the guy. Now, I think we got to wait and reserve. I'm going to reserve my total judgment until next week. Next week, going to tell me all I need to know, right? I think a 4-week sample size is a big sample size enough, right? Especially going into the bye week for me to say that this guy has us moving in the right direction. And with certain more pieces, what else can we do? As far as these 3 games, I mean, to me, he's almost got me there. All right, I was at a 75, I believe, last week. This week now, I'm at 85, 90. Okay, I'm at 85, 90% that I'm ready for him to be the head coach. Like I said, I just got to see what this KC week look like. That's it. Once I see what this KC week look like, that'll tell me all the answers. But I think he's done enough. Now, yesterday, there were certain things that he did not do well, and we have to remember as well, he is a rookie head coach. He's learning on the fly, too. Especially in the NFL, you learn on the fly. So there are things you understand. You don't forgive what you understand, okay? So it's like, all right, yesterday, you talk about the negatives, too conservative in that first half, and too aggressive at the end. That's my takeaway from it yesterday. You were too aggressive at the end, too conservative in the first half. In the first half, you run it damn near 6 straight times, and to end the quarter out, and you only get, 3 points or something like that? Like, come on. You can't do that. You know what I mean? And you got to take some shots. And I would argue to you, in the first half, you had them on their toes. All right, they didn't really know what to expect. So that would have been the time for you to get aggressive and try to put some points on the board. Now, in the second half, I say you were a little too aggressive. You went for it on a number of 4th downs. But really, a lot of people say you could have just took the points. True, and you could have took the points there and made it a little closer game. Maybe going into the final drive, all you needed was a field goal instead of a touchdown. Okay, understand it, right? And these are things that I think he needs to work on. The clock management is something that has to be a continued thing that he needs to work on, because that was the big thing with Josh McDaniels, with a lot of us didn't manage the clock right. So now let's hope that he does that. But looking at it, I think, one, he had the team prepared. They were executing, right? So that checks one box. Does he make the proper and necessary adjustments? Seemed like he did. As far as the defense is concerned, he definitely did. As far as the offense, not much you can do when your quarterback throws 2 second-half interceptions. So, I mean, boom. There, seems like he did, right? Now, did he manage clock well? I don't think you get to check that box. I don't think he managed it terribly, but he didn't manage it well either. So he didn't really check that box. But 4, did he use, his proper and necessary tools? Yes, he did. He had a challenge flag that he had in the game, used that, and it was successful. You would argue that he would have been successful last week, but, couldn't challenge in the situation. But I think he did all he needed to do to show that he has this team moving in the right direction, executing in the right direction. And we can all agree that if Josh McDaniels was the coach of this team going into Miami, it would have been a worse game than that. So I think the recap of it, Raiders are close, man. If the Raiders continue to play like this, and this is the mentality and the intensity from this team, there's no team in the NFL we can't beat. You just got to get better at spots. And like I said, this offseason going to be so juicy, boy. This offseason going to be so crazy. And of course I want the Raiders to win, but I can't wait. Because really, if you think about it, if the Raiders have this intensity, this mentality, you're only a couple pieces away, bro. You're only a couple pieces. If you think about it, get that D-line shored up, get the D-line, no-line shored up, get a corner in here, all right? And you talk about the defense did everything they could, and like I said, a couple of names, Marcus Peters, nope, he's gone after this year, but all the totality of it, the defense did what the fuck they supposed to do. But you get a D-line in here, you get some O-line help, you get a corner, and at this point right now, as we're talking, a quarterback is coming in here through the draft. So y'all let me know down below. How do y'all feel about the game? Like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not pissed. I'm disappointed, of course, because that's a game and I'm hurt. That's a game you could have won. But it's great analysis for us. It's great analysis, man. We got to see some things that we needed to see yesterday. Definitely. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about the loss. You're mad, you're pissed, or you come out of there thinking like, okay, I saw what I needed to see. Let me know down below. Let's holler about it. Make sure you guys are tapping on the like and the subscribe button. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, man. Couldn't do it without all my loyal peoples out there, man. Much love to the family. So make sure you guys keep tapping on all them buttons, and I keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.
I need a bad bitch with an accent, serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young Cash App, moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah, shots to the head, ride clean and still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids, so who the fuck gon' wanna test me?